Dear candidates, I welcome you all on behalf of the Staff Selection Commission and wish you very best for your skill examination. I am here to dictate you a passage of 800 words at speed of 90 words per minute. But before that, you will be given two trial passages of 1 minute each at interval of 20 seconds to get you acquainted with my voice. After completion of two trial passages, your actual passage will automatically start after 30 seconds without any further intimation or warning. These two trial passages need not be typed in your actual transcription. You can also cross them to avoid any sorts of confusion. 10 seconds to start. Often, the states make complaints against the central government for not paying attention towards their financial needs and for providing them the required financial resources, and as a result of which development projects remain incomplete. Basically, it is the government of states which are responsible for making development in their states, and in order to fulfill this obligation they need money. States have been presenting their case before Finance Commission and the financial resources are distributed accordingly, and this thing is clearly mentioned in the constitution also. In the election manifesto, you have said that the right to work would be a constitutional right. What steps did you take to convert that promise into reality? How many extra jobs were created? So it was not only a political rhetoric, but it was a concrete dishonesty. Look at what you promised in the election manifesto and what was there in the president's speech. What followed after the president's speech is systematic running away from the election promises, and ultimately we ended up with no plan. You created sufficient situation for the next government of 9 months not to get off the ground so far as the plan processes are concerned. Sustainable development is a central concept. It is a way of understanding the world and a method for solving global problems. The world population continues to rise rapidly. This increasing population needs basic essential things
for their survival, such as food, safe water, health care, and shelter. This is where the concept of sustainable development comes into play. Sustainable development means meeting the needs of people without compromising the ability of future generations. The term sustainable development is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present generation without excessive use or abuse of natural resources so that they can be preserved for the next generation. There are three aims of sustainable development. First, the economic, in which will help to maintain balanced growth. Second, environment, to preserve the ecosystem. And third, society, which will guarantee equal access to resources to all human beings. The key principle of sustainable development is the integration of environmental, social, and economic concerns into all aspects of decision making. There are several challenges that need attention in the arena of economic development and environmental depletion. Hence, the idea of sustainable development is essential to address these issues. The need for sustainable development arises to curb or prevent environmental degradation. Mr. Chairman, I rise to join my colleagues on this side in supporting the motion of thanks to the President for having delivered this address to the joint session of both houses. In a way, the address has become now and still matter because after the address we have come to know about the railways budget as well as the economic survey and the performance of this government, and yesterday we had also the budget before this house. From one point of view, the address which was presented to the house was general, and in that several details have been further filled up by these documents in several fields. As far as last year was concerned, the performance of this government, their achievements, and their future plans have been further highlighted before this house. Every government is tested by the way in which they deal with the challenges before this country. There were mainly 2-3 challenges during the last year according to me. It is not necessary to repeat submission regarding the first challenge about the widespread drought arising out of the natural calamity and the way in which this government had dealt with that challenging situation. We have come to know from all the documents which are before the House that 21 out of 35 rainfall subdivisions received deficient rainfall and there have been floods. Also, in the northern region, the steps that have been taken by this government are really commendable, and from this point of view, the mention in the address and the further details which are provided to this house go to show that No other government could have done better than what they have done in this field, or even as good as what they have achieved as far as the relief to the drought affected areas and flood affected areas are concerned. Now, certain instances have been mentioned, as for instance tea. As you know, sir, before independence, the tea industry was practically in the hands of Europeans. You cannot call it a monopoly because a large number of companies were owning the tea gardens. Of course, there were all foreigners, but gradually in the last 12 years, a large number of tea gardens have changed hands, and now a large number of Indians own tea gardens. Even in the broking firms, a number of Indians have been taken as partners. Since the tea industry was completely in the hands of Europeans before independence, the sales were mostly in the United. The Britishers had an advantage because there the people wanted to buy, and they were also the sellers here. But after the national government came into existence, we have been taking all possible steps to see that Indians get a share, and a constantly rising share, in the business of the country, and the quantum of our share is gradually increasing, and I think now in the tea trade over 80% must be in the hands of Indians. There are some very good tea gardens with them, and as a matter of fact, in the matter of quality, they are in no way inferior to the foreigners. Therefore, so far as the government policy is concerned, I do not think there is anything that can be said against it, but you cannot stop the communist members from accusing the government, because this is what they will do whether it is right or wrong. That is their monopoly, and you cannot prevent them. In fact, the policy of our government in the matter of labor legislation and other measures has been to see that the industrialists and the big businessmen